Gosh, Astroneer's been out for a whole year. This game is a space exploration / industry game done by System Era. It originally came out in 2016 on Steam Early Access, then was officially launched in early 2019. I've been an off and on player of it, usually checking in to see what they've added or changed over the course of the game's development. They've also added a few updates since launch, along with some fun things that I'm hoping will set it up for the future. Just for the record, their automation update came out recently on the 1st of July. And you know how much I love automated things. I haven't officially reviewed this game yet on the channel, so I guess it's about time. So here's my Astroneer review. To start off, we begin in a space station and customize your character. I'll be going with the bubble suit, for obvious reasons. But after being launched out and landing, we get a nice little starter kit. And this is the first bit of how Astroneer works. There's a bunch of these little plugs and holes in your backpack in almost every building you make. This is for the inventory system, which is quite unique. There's multiple inventory tiers for items in-game. You have Tier 1, which is a single plug hole, or small size. Tier 2, which is 2 plugs linked together, also known as medium size. Tier 3, which is 2 Tier 2s linked together, or large size. Then Tier 4, which is similar to Tier 3, but this is for your big boy stuff, like this massive shredder. This inventory system is honestly kind of unique to play with game-wise. There are certain items that give you certain perks, like say a wind turbine or solar panel, which you can hook up to your suit or vehicle for additional power. So this means a lot of stuff from vehicles and buildings have these unique modular slots and can be built and customized to your desires. That, plus it makes this super satisfying clicking sound when you plug stuff in. One little flaw I have though is that if you use your backpack in a tight environment, it can end up clipping and making it impossible to use it properly. So you need to find an open space to do so. But going back to the beginning, initially you have to run around with a limited oxygen supply looking for resources. Eventually we find resins and compounds sticking out of the ground and use our terrain tool to dig them up. And this is how Astroneer's gameplay loop works. You go and explore, get resources, and use it to build stuff. And now that we have compounds, we can make tethers. Tethers provide power and oxygen from our base, and these can be connected virtually with no distance limit. And we never have to worry about running out of oxygen ever again. So therefore, zero risk, maximum tether! Though honestly, the game is fairly easy in terms of difficulty. Just make sure you have enough tethers to explore areas and watch out for hostile plant life. And by hostile plant life, I mean little plants that can just slap or shoot projectiles at you. All plants can be easily defeated by simply digging them up with your terrain tool. And that's it, permanently. No more dead, dangerous plant. It's dead now. There's not many threats that bother you on your adventures. Just the risk of getting untethered for too long while spelunking in angry flora. But that's okay, that makes this game fall into a very zen exploration and building experience. And while exploring, you can also find these giant nuggets, which can be scanned for research. This is part of the game's progression system as well. You can find random stuff and it will give you research bytes which you can use to unlock more complex recipes. You can also find more valuable chunks on different and harder planets. So this gives you the ability to unlock a lot of good stuff very quickly if you so desire. Though after you get everything you need, research kind of falls to the wayside and isn't really needed anymore. But going on from that, you unlock more advanced objects, and that means you need more advanced resources. And that means going to more advanced planets to get those resources. You'll be able to find the needed resources after some spelunking. I should also mention how interplanetary travel works. You unlock and build a space shuttle and then launch! Though space travel feels like a really slowed down menu, there are 2 layers to space travel. The planetary layer, which slowly orbits a planet with giant orbs, meaning landing spots for your ship. Then the interplanetary layer, which has all the planets you could possibly visit. Personally, I dislike the way you have to wait to see a landing spot you previously landed at. It feels like it can take a minute or two while you wait for your ship to slowly orbit the planet so you can land at your base. Not to mention, you better have slapped a beacon down at your base, or you might never be able to find that base you set up again. There's no indication of where you landed at last time until you get up close. But this is really a means to an end to get you from planet to planet. There is only this one system of unique planets, however, so this is all you'll be exploring. There's a lot of buildings in this game that help you craft and refine those resources that you find into more advanced ones. This will help you get some awesome stuff. Simple things like wind turbines or solar panels to give you a semi-reliable power source. All these buildings are powered by a unique power system. You have things that generate power for free, like solar panels and windmills, but only during the day or when the wind is blowing. You also have generators which can burn organic or carbon materials for raw energy outputs. Though be warned, they will eat up the resource despite there being nothing to power if left on. You also have batteries which can store excess energy for later use, though batteries do come a bit later in the game. A high-end device is called the RTG, which stands for Radioisotope Thermoelectric Generator. Essentially, this device creates a constant stream of free power. It uses an incredibly difficult material to make, which can be a bit tedious to acquire the resources for, but it's so worth it in the end. The game rewards you for going the extra mile to explore and acquire and use resources in this way. And speaking of resources, we also have the recently released automation update. A big feature of this is the auto extractor. This slowly harvests resources from a pile of resources you can find out in the world. Apparently, it harvests 15 times the amount of resources you normally would. This makes it a must-have, but it's incredibly power-intensive, requiring 2 RTGs to go at full production. I usually just give it one RTG with a large storage and set it and forget it. Then I come back to it knowing it'll be full up for whatever resource I want. Though unfortunately the auto extractor size is large, so that means you cannot easily transport it. This makes it a pain to move to nodes you will find underground, assuming you don't want to deal with paving the way for a rover in a very lumpy environment. The automation update also brings sensors which can help automate some of your buildings. I do find them a bit limited in functionality though. I only used them to make it so they would turn a group of generators on or off, automatically at least, until I unlocked the RTGs and it just kinda became unneeded. I'm sure there's some folks using them for more interactive stuff, but I probably haven't figured out what yet. There's also the auto arm, which is infinitely useful. This moves resources from, say, a storage towards wherever you direct it. So this could be useful for setting up automated research and putting small research items into a scanner, or stuff you need refined into a furnace. There's a lot you can do with this. Though be careful, it'll often swipe or put stuff into your own backpack, and I've found this a minor annoyance at times. I also find it a bit inconvenient to have such a limited ability to move items. And I know it's not quite Factorio or Satisfactory, but conveyor belts would be super awesome to help with automation. I should also mention the endgame of this game as well. There is a way to beat the game, but it doesn't feel very rewarding to me. I'm not going to go into heavy detail just for sake of spoilers, but my statement still stands. Besides that, there's not much to do after you get all the resources you need and so on. There is the Exo Request platform, which demands quite a lot of materials so you can unlock some exclusive cosmetics. I should also state that they added a microtransaction store. And I get it, indie devs need money. So therefore, why not give players some fancy skins and emotes for it? The store is cosmetic only, which is good in my opinion, and does have some pretty neat stuff in it. So if you want to support the game, it's up to you. It's not like they're putting power in loot boxes, right EA? But as you've seen, Astroneer has this cute, almost Lego-like toy design to everything, and that works well with the game's mechanics. It also has a nice zen atmosphere as you explore and go around the universe, and some pretty chill tunes to back it up. And this is why I give this game a thumbs up. It's a great fun time, up until you hit the end game and kind of run out of things to do. If they could add more planets or other goals than just collecting resources, I'd be more able to sink time into this game. But as it stands, after you get all the resources and research done, the game falls a bit flat on what to do. And right now, that's not a bad thing either. The devs are more than capable of adding more content for players to do later. And I would definitely pay for an expansion pack that would open up another system or something to explore, or have more things to play with and unique things to discover. But I think that'll wrap it up for this review. Have you tried Astroneer? What do you think of the automation update? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. As per the usual jabber, like if you liked, slap that subscribe button for more. Thank you for watching, feel free to leave some feedback. I'm Mr. Bubbles, and I'm launching off into space again. Bye-bye.